It's time for another episode of Inside the Classroom with your boy, Coach Ace, coming at you again. What's good today, people? So, I'm still continuing my intermediate topics and my scheme versus scheme topics. So, time for the explanation of the schemes that we're going against. Zone blitz, yes, again, zone blitz. I have a bias towards zone blitz versus, I guess you could call it that, offensive pool man scheme run. I like both these schemes, actually. So, this should be a good one. So, there's the play art right there waiting for you. Let's get started. Now, the interesting thing about man scheme zone blocking with offensive lineman pool is that is one of the best ways to get massive gains of yardage when running the ball. I always believe that athletic offensive linemen are the best way to get big gains on the ground. Why do I say that? Because athletic offensive linemen can run downfield at a quicker rate. They can get to blockers, and they can get to defenders and block them at a quicker rate, which would give the running back less time to have to wait for gaps to open up and more time to run downfield and elude and evade defenders downfield. Now, the whole point of pooling offensive linemen is to get running backs space on the opposite side of the play, on the opposite side where the defense isn't in that particular play. So, gonna bring you in closer to the play art, and I'll digress and explain. Now you see those orange lines? Those orange lines I use to illustrate that the offensive tackle on the left side and the offensive guard on the left side will be pulling to the right side so that they can block defenders on the right side. Now, the purpose for this, as I said before, is to create big gains of yardage through the running game. Now, people think, casuals think that, it's harder to get big gains on the ground. It's not necessarily true. It just depends on your offensive structure. If you have athletic offensive linemen that are shifty, good feet, can move quickly, then they can get to the next level at a quicker rate than bulkier, clunky, unathletic offensive linemen, which is why I typically prefer athletic offensive linemen, because it can help create bigger gains through running plays. And I'm all about big plays, offense or defense. So, and then with this play, the fullback leads to the right outside. Now, this formation for offense is strong I. It's a strong I, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 fullback. So the fullback is already leaning towards the left in the first place. It's leaning towards the right in the first place. So the fullback will go towards the right, and he'll lead for the running back to be able to have space to create a big gain of yardage. This running play is designed to have a big gain. Now, sometimes that's not how it works out, but me, if I were an offensive coordinator and I drew this play out, that would be my vision for this particular play. I'm trying to get 10 yards or more with this play if I was an offensive coordinator. Now, for the defensive play call. The defensive play call is something that a lot of Madden players have seen before. The typical engage 8, yes, the infamous engage 8, but it's essentially 8 blitzers and 3 players playing a deep 1/3. So you have the linebackers, all 3 linebackers within this 4-3-4 alignment will be blitzing. All 4 defensive linemen will be blitzing. Only 1 safety will be blitzing. That'll be the free safety. The free safety will be blitzing. And he'll walk down pre-snap, walk towards the line of scrimmage, and attack the 9 gap. So you see, the free safety will be attacking the 9 gap on this side, on the right side. And the weak side linebacker will provide leverage and assistance, blitzing assistance for the safety to be able to get into the backfield at a better rate with less blockers in the safety's way. So, yes. And then, as I told you before, outside corner on this side will bail 3 to 5 yards and then go into a deep 1/3 coverage. The strong safety will play deep center field, so the deep center field zone, and then the starting corner on the opposite side will bail 3 to 5 yards, and then they'll go into a deep 1/3. So essentially, typical engage 8 or casino 8, as some might want to call it. It's essentially just to create a ridiculous level of pressure. It's a very extremely aggressive play, and honestly, I'm all about aggression. So I mean, if I were a defensive coordinator, I may throw in engage 8 maybe once or twice a game, because this play, it's not necessarily about stopping opponents. Sometimes coordinators call plays to set a tone. Remember, everything in this world comes down to psychology, and sometimes coordinators call plays to set a tone for the physicality and the structure and the nature of how they're going to play and what the opponent is going to expect to feel when they go against them. This is what I call a tone setter, because it's very aggressive. It's all about attacking. And on the backside, it's protecting the backfield so that they don't exactly give big gains away for this play. They'll get shorter intermediate passes and to be completed if they're going to pass the ball. But this play is about setting a tone on defense and let them know, we're here to attack. So, now for my opinion, my prognosis for who I think has the advantage in this play. I'd say this is not easy, but I'd say the offense does a very slight advantage, very, very slight advantage. Now, the reason I say that is because if the pullers do their job, if the left tackle and left guard pull correctly, get to the edge at a quick enough rate, they're not going to completely stop the safeties and that weak side linebacker that's attacking the edge. But if they can get in their way, kind of push them out of the way to some extent and get them to run into their teammates, their own other defenders, then they'll have a massive lane to run through if they do their job correctly. And I'll even draw out the lane that's there for them if they do their job right. As you can see, that green line for where the running back is headed, if these two guys do their job correctly and take out the free safety and the weak side, if they eliminate these guys right here with their blocks, then that's going to leave the fullback a lane to block downfield, and then that's going to leave an alley for a major gain downfield. So you see? Now this is why I said the offense has the advantage in this play. So if they miss it, if the pulling guard and tackle misses their block, and the fullback would be responsible for either the safety or the linebacker, I'd say that they're most likely screwed in this play. If the pulling guards and tackles just push them enough out of the way to create an alley and a lane, and the fullback is unimpeded and can still go ahead and run downfield, to be honest with you, the offense could score a touchdown with this play. So this play is going to be a very fine line between whether the offense is going to get like a 80-yard, 70-yard gain on the ground and then a huge run, or they get stopped in the backfield. And it's all going to come down to angular discipline and the ability to be able to move quickly, because the safeties and linebackers are clearly going to be shifty or more athletic than the offensive guard and offensive tackle. So just to get them out the way quickly enough to where the running back has a gap in a lane. And like I said before, and I'll even bring it up to you one more time, that lane right here, that lane right there where I made those arrows, that's where the big gain is going to be if the offensive tackle on the left side and the left guard do their job. So that's it. Got more in store, so stay tuned. Psycho Schematics. I'm out.